All right, welcome to another episode of Psoto Desperado Plays Ark Survival Ascended. I did manage to get the next level of mutation, which is 472. And I got it over here. I'm putting it in position. And I'll turn it on. And everybody's going to be banging away. Loving, loving, loving. And this guy... This is the prior mutation. I put it away. Alright, once we're done with that, we'll just give it some time. It's like all my animals are still here, spread out, but they're here. Yeah, I put a lot of them on neutral so that they can defend themselves from anything manifesting inside the gate. Anyway, I hope you guys can hear me. No, baby. I'm recording now. My baby always wants to play. I'm going to play some videos in the background. I don't know if I'll be doing this too long today. I just wanted to get the current level bred up a bit here. Okay. I wish I could do tigers. I wish I could breed up one of these tigers instead of the raptors, but that's me. I prefer that. I'm so used to these tigers. But, you know, what can you do? Alright, let me start a video. Hopefully this thing won't crash. This video is Asmnogold TV, why Jack Black is losing thousands of followers.
Jack Black. People hate Jack Black now? Uh-oh.
Jack Black is a national treasure. We must protect him.
Yeah, people always like Jack Black.
Comments such as this were normal just 1 year ago, but after a string of unexpected controversy, he's not only losing thousands of followers, but every Jack Black comment section is flooded with negativity.
Not cool,
Compare
Jack.
this to only 11 months ago, when we listed Jack Black amongst celebrities who have basically zero haters. There was nothing controversial about him. In a Reddit thread asking about the most beloved celebrities, one of the top comments was Jack Black. He's just such a lovable guy, how could you not like him? He never took life too seriously, always trolling the paparazzi and acting like a fool for the public's entertainment. By starting his own YouTube channel, Jack Black showed that actors are still just normal people.
Hey, what's up? It's me, Jack Black. This is my new YouTube channel, Jablinski.
Giving him a relatable edge that made his fans adore him. So when he'd face his first controversy roughly 2 years ago, his audience was generally forgiving. Jack Black had shown his support for a charity named Autism Speaks.
This is bad? This doesn't seem bad.
Articles explained in 2013 he hosted an Autism Speaks benefit, and in 2015 performed at the Lighted Up Blue Autism Speaks fundraiser. In 2018 he'd promote the charity via Twitter, perhaps ignoring it being extremely controversial. Autism Speaks hates autistic people. For over a decade, Autism Speaks tried to find a cure for autism. They treated autism like it was some type of disease that could be cured. People
Yeah, am I taking crazy pills? Where do these fucking retards come from, man? This is like people getting mad at Mr. Beast because he was helping people hear again, and it was erasing deaf culture. This is so astonishingly stupid, I can't even believe it. How is this possible? I can't, I almost don't even believe this is true.
People therefore complained on Twitter, friendly reminder that while Jack Black is currently trending, he has donated to ableist and eugenicist organizations like Autism Speaks and Next for Autism that focus on fixing and curing autism, a neurological condition. He has also attended Autism Speaks galas.
So what's wrong with this? That's eugenics if you don't want people to be autistic? Ableist, so is everybody, like, what? What the fuck? How could you be this stupid? This is so stupid. I can't believe it.
Yet his audience gave him the benefit of the doubt. Maybe Jack didn't know it was a bad company.
Oh my
was
God.
just trying to do something good and got duped. Just playing devil's advocate. What if he's unaware of the problematic issues? Jack Black.
Well, you need to educate yourself on autism. This is the second wild take on it you've had in a couple of days. Wait, autism is not fixable. It's literally just different brain wiring. So you think there's no way for people to fix it? There's no way for you to rewire people's brains at all? I wonder if that's going to be true in 100 years. Here, let me ask you a question. Do you think that's going to be true in 200 years? It's not 200. Okay. Okay. Uh-huh. Right. So why research and why try to investigate into a topic? Why do that? Why should you possibly do that? No critical thinking? Yeah, there you go. Yeah, you just don't even try. Crazy. Well, there it is.
Seems like a decent person. This explains why he'd also give political opinions, but with his comments...
Big mistake. Big mistake. Huge mistake. There we go.
Now reading, never get political, it always ends wrong. This had become a primary reason for the fall of his reputation. Now, Jack Black has always been...
people don't want to hear politics from celebrities most of the time. Like, they don't. Like, people get mad at me for talking about politics. They get mad at him. They get mad at fucking Selena Gomez. They get mad at XQC. They get mad at Aiden Ross. They get mad at everybody. People don't want to hear politics from people that do entertainment, right? You condition us. Well, there's like I've changed my content over the years in different ways, right? And so it's going to be different. But there are people that don't want that. They want something else. That's always is. That's always what it is.
Politically outspoken, but would make his arguments subtle and funny in the classic Jack Black style. For example, in 2017, Tenacious D performed This Government Totally Sucks, in which they joke about Benjamin Franklin getting naked and smoking weed. Similarly, in 2020, Jack Black made his own commercial, stating it's time to be a hero with a mask. Not this kind, but this kind, before jumping headfirst into his pool. Videos like that were pretty smooth and inoffensive. However, by 2023,
it's also that nobody could criticize videos like that. It's very important to keep in mind that during the COVID era, it's not like you were able to have an opinion that this was bad. So it's easy to say nobody criticized it. Well, yeah, no shit, because if they did, they'd get banned. Did Bro just waterboard? That's what I was thinking too. But yeah.
That's interesting.
Political opinions were less about the comedy and significantly more direct. For example, he'd give his opinion on the Israel-Palestine war, for which he was heavily criticized, to the extent that people called for a Kung Fu Panda boycott. When he shared an image reading...
That's so fucking ridiculous. I'm sorry.
For which he was heavily criticized to the
Remember, he supports Zionist propaganda. Remember, the only ones killing civilians in Palestine are Israel itself. Yeah, people are really, really mad about that too. It's performative. Yeah, and this is why a lot of people don't want to get involved in politics in general. Read what he wrote. Let me read what he wrote. Give me a second. My dad's calling me. Hello? Here, go on speaker. You're on speaker.
Okay, rewiring the brain to treat autism is a proven therapy for dealing with autism. And it can be done through behavioral reinforcement, and it can also be done with drugs. And so just a heads up on that. And people who can't walk, they learn to rewire mechanical hands. Most of the brain is not used, and there's all sorts of ways that all sorts of treatments for a wide variety of maladies or problems that are treated by specifically rewiring the brain. It's a known, long known technique.
Yep.
In fact, a lot of people would say behaviorism, Skinnerian or behavioral reinforcement it rewires the brain too. If it's kept up and it changes the behavior, it causes a change or rewiring in the brain. Just a heads up.
Good to know.
Agree in this shit.
Yep, good to know. All right, I'll talk to you later.
Yo.
All right, yo, bye. Wow, what a surprise. What a surprise. Obviously. Fucking obviously. Okay, anyway, let's read what he said. Did he say anything that was like crazy bad? It's absolutely reasonable and logical to be opposed to the Israeli government of Palestinians while simultaneously calling for the protection of Jews in Israel around the world. Hamas is a terrorist organization that is attacking civilians by land, air, and sea. The images of kidnapped Israelis are shocking and devastating. Given the thousands of years of persecution of Jews, know that your Jewish friends, even if you're not in Israel, are hurting and are fearful when things like this happen, and non-Jews are silent. I understand many of us are afraid to voice an opinion because the crisis is so nuanced and hard to understand, and we are afraid to say the wrong thing, but we can and must always use our voices to denounce terrorism and the senseless murder of civilians. I'm going to be honest, I think he's right. I do. I agree with him. I think most normal people agree with him.
His opinion on the Israel-Palestine war, for which he was heavily criticized to the extent that people called for a Kung Fu Panda boycott. When he shared an image reading, "Climate change is a human rights crisis," the comments again weren't too positive. Goodbye, Jack, you lost me there. Nobody needs you to guide them politically. You're a professional court jester. That's why we watch you. OMG, LMFAO. Jack.
I don't think that it's a problem. Like, for example, I mean, there's a lot of politicians, or sorry, not politicians, the opposite. There's a lot of comedians that talk about politics and people respect them. Like, for example, George Carlin or Dave Chappelle. So I don't even think that's a bad thing. It's just that he's doing it in a way that people feel like is dishonest or annoying. Joe Rogan. Yeah, remember that guy?
Black, you've gone down the gutter. In the meantime, about half of his Twitter became political retweets.
Yep, here we go.
In June 2024,
here we
Jack
go.
Black endorsed the president.
A few days ago, my manager called me and said George Clooney and Julia Roberts wanted me to help out the president, and I said, I am in. When and where?
He proudly reposted the video to his Twitter, but with almost as many replies as the post had likes.
Well, this is the point where, like, I mean, at this point, everybody knew that Joe Biden was a corpse. So, yeah, big surprise. People were annoyed to hear this because it's like, oh, good. Now we have somebody else that's part of this collective lie that this guy who is just like, let me be clear on one thing. Like, I mean, what the fuck are we doing? What is this?
Safe to say his message didn't land so smoothly. Love your work, I just wish you didn't endorse anyone. Hollywood needs to stay out of politics.
Yeah, people are tired of hearing about it.
You're part of a lot of people's childhood laughs. Now you're just a deadbeat sellout. What a shame.
I don't think he's a sellout. I think that he's just talking, like, the thing is that there's a reason why a lot of jobs don't ask people not to bring politics into work, man. It's a super common thing. So you shouldn't be surprised by this at all. I think this is always how it is.
He alienated your fan base.
I'm sure these people partially believe it.
Although these were the more polite replies as they only got worse.
Yeah, I bet they did.
Over 15,000 people supported a response reading, add Jack Black to the list of pedo-wood elites.
Jesus Christ. People are really going in there.
Post if you aren't surprised.
He alienated
Numerous
both
other
political
memes pushed
spectrums?
similar allegations, with another person straight up stating, "Here's an awesome tip. Stay away from the pedophile at Jack Black."
I think this is total bullshit, and I don't think people should be saying this about him. This is completely wrong. Like, although I think Jack Black is kind of an idiot for supporting this stuff, this is totally a fucking, like, out of pocket, unreasonable. This is crazy. Shouldn't be saying this shit about people.
Because he enforced
This is just the same thing as calling people Nazis. It's just a different flavor. It's so annoying. I hate this.
Presidential candidate. A different fan expressed, "I'm so beyond saddened by this political shilling.
Yeah.
The word disappointing isn't strong enough. And I just attended one of your recent Houston shows. Well, never again, Jack."
Damn.
And in a poll asking, "Have you lost all respect for at Jack Black?"
900 votes.
85% responded with yes. The
wouldn't
poll
really
was
think a lot
likely
about that.
somewhat biased, but still, for the first time ever, Jack Black was losing followers.
Yeah.
However, this likely wasn't a massive concern, as he was busy with something else completely.
Yeah, sure.
Tenacious D, Jack Black's band, had been traveling the world on their spicy meatball tour. They'd been through North America, all across Europe, and had landed in Australia just 24 days after Jack's
remember this.
presidential
This was a big
controversy.
day.
They scheduled their second show in Sydney for bandmate Kyle Gass's birthday, celebrating on Instagram before the show started. This continued into the band's performance. Which would lead to the following interaction.
This was a bad day.
Don't miss Trump next time.
Mixed feedback immediately rolled in. Some people said
This is right after the attempted assassination of Trump.
that they're a comedy band that make dark jokes. It was a joke, they make jokes. JB and KG...
I don't think you can say they're making jokes if they're only making jokes about one group of people. Like, I feel like that's kind of the issue, is that the reason why people like Dave Chappelle get away with it is because he makes jokes about all groups of people, and it's okay. Same as South Park. But, like, the issue is that when you only make jokes about one group of people, then everybody's going to think that you're that person. You're like that, right? I mean, of course. And so, like, including themselves. Yeah, exactly. It's not comedy. Yeah, it's freedom of speech, bro. Well, I don't think they should go to jail. I don't think they should go to jail for that. Like, that's not it. I think it's distasteful to shoot the president. I do. I don't like it. I think it's bad. And so if people might not like that, I think that's fair. Like, that's it. Yeah, I mean, you obviously people are going to have opinions about things, but yeah, freedom of speech, you're not allowed to dislike them. Yeah, of course. You're correct. All successful comedians generally joke about both sides and not just one. Yeah, or they joke about a group that they're a part of, right? So, like, Gabriel Iglesias, he makes a bunch of fat jokes. Well, yeah, it's okay because he's fat, right? Like, there's like an implicit understanding that it's okay to make jokes about the group of people that you're a part of, right? That's always how it's been. And so it's a fucking joke. Yeah, that's always how it's been. And if you're going to make jokes about, like, one group of people, you've got to make jokes about the other group, or it's going to be seen, it's making a direct call of violence. No, and I understand that, it's definitely something bad to say. But, like, my viewpoint on this was, like, I don't think, like, you should say that publicly. I think that advocating for, like, killing an elected official is, like, really bad. And I don't think anybody should be pushing for that. I've had tons of people that I know privately tell me the exact same thing. And, like, I'm like, okay, yeah, for sure, right? Because this is just a person's opinion. But whenever you vocalize that opinion on a public stage, right, and you put that out there, then it's totally different. And of course you're going to have people that are frustrated about that. Of course. But of course you have people that think that. Yeah, sure.
They're good human beings with good intent, whilst others plainly stated, "Sorry, Jack, but I'm out."
Yeah.
One senator tweeted,
I mean, you can't joke about shooting somebody and killing them and say that you're a good human being with good intent. I'm sorry, you just can't really do that.
no place in
Unless it's
Australia
like
for those who
self-defense or
wish
something.
for the assassination of others, demanding that Tenacious D must be deported immediately. As a result, Kyle Gass apologised, writing, "The line I improvised on stage Sunday night in Sydney was highly inappropriate, dangerous, and a terrible mistake. I don't condone violence of any kind, in any form, against anyone. What happened was a tragedy, and I'm incredibly sorry for my severe lack of judgment. I profoundly apologise to those I've let down, and truly regret any pain I've caused." Jack Black...
I feel like that's as fair of an apology as you could get. I mean, like, he's not blaming anybody. He's just taking accountability. He says, my bad, I'm wrong. That's a good apology. Yeah. Like, if you don't let people apologize, then they never will. That's my viewpoint.
added, "I was blindsided by what was said at the show on Sunday. I would never condone hate speech or encourage political violence in any form, but after rewatching the clip, people didn't buy it."
Yeah, he's
like
laughing.
was blindsided. He laughs when Kyle says it.
No, so I've had friends of mine say that to me, and I've laughed at it too. I did the exact same thing because, like, I don't want to have a political showdown with this person right now. I'm like, yeah, sure, right? And I make bad off-color political jokes they probably don't agree with, and they'll laugh at it too. Yeah, it's dark humor, exactly. No, really, I mean, I don't know. I think I do that all the time. Yeah, I'm just being honest, right? I mean, I know people might not want to admit that or whatever, but yeah, it's just like, okay, like, it's like you're laughing. It's like, oh my God, okay, here you go again, right? And so I don't really think it. Yeah, he laughs, so he's guilty. Maybe he thinks it, maybe he doesn't. I don't know. But, like, all I'm saying is that, again, like, what you do in public is different than what you do in a private space, right? That's totally different. So, yeah, I mean, of course. But I'm just saying that, like, specifically, that's it. You called JD couch fucker today? People have short. Yeah, of course, I'm always fucking around. Yeah, that's fine. And so it's called nervous laughter for a reason? Well, it depends, right? It's breaking tension, laughing in disbelief. You can look at it 50 different ways. But either way, I think that, like, yeah, it's definitely, like, I think that Kyle's the one in the wrong here because he put Jack Black in a really bad position. And, like, because obviously, like, Jack Black is way more well-known and famous than Kyle, right? And, like, if you're going to use this, like, I mean, Tenacious D is Tenacious D because of Jack Black, not Kyle Gass. I mean, I'm sorry, but, like, that's just the reality. Everybody knows it. If you're going to put your friend in that position, I think that you're being a really bad friend. I think you are. And I think it's selfish for you to do that, especially on stage with that person. It's extremely selfish. I think Kyle was being a piece of shit by doing that. And this is also, like, completely stepping away from the idea of whether it was good or not. Doing that, knowing what that will cause, and doing it anyway, big mistake. It was probably Jack's idea. That's a good point that you're bringing up, too, is that he could have been okay with it. They could have talked about it beforehand. That's a good point. I feel like I don't... Maybe that happened, maybe it didn't. But I don't think we can... The way... Because Jack Black cut him off completely after that, I kind of assumed that didn't happen.
Doesn't condone that,
Does that
kind
make
of
sense?
speech, but you see him laughing when the comment is made. Jack's apology continued. "After much reflection, I no longer feel it is appropriate to continue the Tenacious D tour, and all future creative plans are on hold. I am grateful to the fans
I mean, that doesn't sound like somebody who planned it out with him, right? It just doesn't.
for their support and understanding." He'd stated in an interview 3 weeks later, "We need to take a break. Everybody needs a break sometime and we'll be back." But it was already too late.
Yeah.
Even those people who didn't mind the joke were disappointed by Jack's lack of support for his bandmates. Your friend of over 30 years says one bad throwaway joke that gets an overreaction. Like,
I think that there's a good chance that they could have discussed it off camera. And, like, if I was Jack Black and I told that to my friend and my friend tried to, like, make me feel stupid or feel like I was being unreasonable or, like, not understand what the problem was, I would stop working with them because it's a lack of respect. Like, basically, it's like you put me in this problem and you won't even acknowledge it and take accountability for it. Like, wouldn't you do the same thing? Seems very unlikely. Really? I don't know. Like, I feel like that's a really likely possibility. Yeah, I really think it is. Because, like, how many of you guys have had somebody, like basically somebody who's displacing blame and, like, yeah, why you, fuck me, yeah, you didn't take responsibility, etc. He apologized for his impromptu? Yeah, exactly. Even so, I'm backing my friend? I wouldn't always do that, because if they were your friend, they wouldn't put you in the position in some cases to have to back them on saying things that could make you look really bad. Like, friendship is a two-way street. He said it was improvised, though? Yeah, exactly. And it's easy to say that whenever it's not your reputation on the line. So I can actually see where Jack Black is coming from in a big way. I think the problem is that he played both sides too much. You can't play both sides too much and not get a bunch of people that hate you.
Have at least a bit of backbone and stick up for your friends. A different person said the weird thing with cancelling the Tenacious D tour over a bad Trump joke tells me, yeah, dude cares more about money above all else now and will throw friends under the bus to maintain cash flow.
Do you guys kind of agree with me, or like see where I'm coming from, where like I bet they probably talked with this and like had a discussion about this off camera, and the result of the discussion was what this was? Of course, they're adults. Yeah, they probably talked about this, and we don't know. We don't know. But I am assuming. I'm fan fictioning. I'm headcanoning here. But I've had, unfortunately, situations like this in the past. And if somebody did to me what Kyle did to me, and they didn't take accountability for it privately and apologize, I would say, fuck you, I don't want to deal with you. I don't want to deal with this. This is nope.
Public no longer gave him the benefit of the doubt.
Jack Black is the ultimate sellout clown.
Which began to impact his future movies. I remember a time when seeing Jack Black in a movie excited me. Now I skip it completely. Borderlands got 10% on Rotten Tomatoes and has been considered one of 2024's worst movies. On the Dear Santa trailer, people criticized Jack Black just jumping on every movie these days, and nothing showed this better than his casting as Steve. There are many reasons why Minecraft's trailer has already gained over 1 million dislikes.
That's crazy.
The main one being, according to Forbes, the appearance of Jack Black as Steve, where he simply looks like everyday Jack Black in a blue shirt with his now signature wild hair and grey streaked beard.
Yeah, I think this is another thing that people criticize certain
I come over here and I want
like actors for.
Tame this
is
thing
that the actor basically plays themselves or plays the same role in every single character? Which is like kind of odd, because I feel like Jack Black voicing Bowser in the Super Mario, I feel like that was really, really, really well received, right? I think a lot of people like that. At least that's what I heard. That's what I read. Yeah.
Absolutely bizarre.
He's basically just playing Jack Black, but in a blue shirt.
Yep.
It looks like he rolled out of bed and they gave him this blue shirt instead. All right, now you're Steve.
He could have said, I am Jack Black, and it would have made zero difference. They gave Jack Black a blue shirt and called it a day. People joke that the director should have instead been cast as Steve, leading Jack Black to respond to the hate.
That would have been really clever if they had done that.
I just think the backlash we're getting is ridiculous, especially from grown men who don't get that this movie isn't just for them. It's for a new generation.
And to be fair to Jack Black, I think that that's true. I think that there were a lot of adult grown men that were shitting on the Minecraft movie that has an average target audience age of 9. I do. I think that there's part of that that's true.
Yet it seems the new generation don't want it either. My son is a Minecraft kid in elementary school. He told me that when they heard it was live action, all of his friends declared it was totally trash. This doesn't even appeal to the target audience. As a result, Jack Black's rapidly losing followers on every social media. He pulled a Dwayne Johnson and became a soulless corporate husk of his former self, who plays the same character in each of the far too many terrible movies he's in.
Damn, that sucks. I feel bad because, like, growing up, you know, like I watched the School of Rock and, you know, all the old Jack Black movies, and they were really good. I always really liked this guy. I thought this guy was great. And, like, that's why, I mean, to be fair, I do kind of, I try to see it from his side in this situation, but I think the reality is that a lot of people, I'm going to just say it because a lot of people hope the exact same thing that Kyle did. And if you start saying that, like, you're a Democrat, you're pro-Democrat, you want Joe Biden to win, you are courting the favor of the people that hope that the next one doesn't miss. Abso-fucking-lutely you are. And when you do that, and then you turn around, and then you say, oh no, I'm against this, well, now you're sending mixed messages. And mixed messages confuse retards. And a lot of the movies that he does, like the Minecraft movie, for example, that's made for retards. It's made for kids and retards. And it's the same thing as whatever the one before that was, too, the Borderlands movie, right? Exactly. And I'm just being honest, right? And it's confusing. It's mixed messaging. It's hard for people to understand. So that's what I think. Crazy how one wrong move can cause an entire downfall. It wasn't even a joke he made. Well, it wasn't one wrong move. It was like 4 or 5 things, and that's what the video was about. I think this was the straw that broke the camel's back for sure. But it was because he had courted favor from those people for years. And I think also some of the criticism of him playing himself in the movie, I think, is fair. But, yeah, he brought politics into his career. If you bring politics into your career, you're going to have people that will be alienated by it. Like, that's just the way it is. There's the video. Give it a like. That was really good.
Oh, it's the same one. It's the same damn one I tried to kill over there. Somebody left my door open, so now I gotta go in there and close it. There we go. Now we can kill this guy. Alright, so we got this guy. He's a 76. He's trapped. Alright, 176. Let me go home and see what I can do with this. I got a lot of weight on me, as you can see, so best to do that. Let me see if I can play another video. Now this is Taylor the Fiend. Divorced woman hits 40, has a mental breakdown because she will be alone forever.
Came to the realization that, like, if you're 40 years old, you're fucked. Like, you're never gonna find love. Like, oh my god. Sorry, I woke up like really, really emotional because I was married for, oh my god, I need to stop. I was married for over 20 years, and like, I was so used to being a wife. Like, I loved being married, you know? Like, I love being a wife. I love having like that one person I love coming home to and like venting all my shit to. And now it's like, yeah, you date people and like sparks fly, and then it's just like, oh, I found better, you know?
So let me get this straight. This woman hit 40 years of age. She threw away her 20-plus year marriage. She went out there, she returned to the streets, tried to date some men, and of course, these men were not interested. Now, fast forward, she's sitting in her car crying, saying that she misses being a wife. She's having a full-on breakdown here because she thinks she's going to be alone forever. Guys, this is absolute comedy. But what is going on, guys? It is Taylor the Fiend back again. And on today's episode, I had this absolute gem of a clip sent to me. And it is just so incredibly funny. So like I said, 40-year-old woman, divorced. I didn't even know she was divorced. I just heard the first 2 seconds of the video and I'm like, this is hilarious. But she's divorced, 20-plus year marriage down the drain. And like many divorced women, what they do is they think that dating's just going to be so easy. You know, go back out there. She can get all this attention from men. Shouldn't be a problem, right?
I need some of that.
But the thing is, getting attention from men and getting commitment out of men are two very different things, as we can see here, because this woman is absolutely crying. So guys, let's jump into it. We're going to break the full thing down. Don't forget to leave your thoughts and your comments. And if you find this as hilarious as I do, make sure you do drop a comment. Let's jump in.
I just came to the realization that, like, if you're 40 years old, you're fucked. Like, you're never gonna find love. Like, oh my God.
Okay, so let's just stop it here. She says that she's never going to find love, guys. This is where it gets even more stupid, okay? Because it gets more stupid when you realize that these women can find love, okay? She could find love within the next 24 hours if she wanted to. But she won't do that, okay? Because what she wants is she wants the dudes who are at the top. That's what all of this is about, guys. Please do not believe these crocodile tears that women put on about how they're so lone and they're just looking for love. No, they're looking for some dude who's, quite frankly, out of their league to come and commit to them. That's what it's about. They don't care about average Joe, okay? They don't care about the guy who's making $60,000 a year, which, as far as I understand it, is above average. They don't care about this guy.
Sorry, I woke up like really, really emotional because I was married for, oh my God, I need to stop. I was married for over 20 years and like, I was so used to being a wife. Like I
just love, guys, don't you just love the crying? How like you can't see a single tear whatsoever. It just looks so incredibly fake and performed to me. I've seen so many of these TikTok videos by this point where like the women are crying in their cars, and I just think the acting is 1 out of 10. You know, definitely could use some improvement. Maybe we need some more dramatic lighting. You know what this video is missing? It's missing the piano music. That's what it's really missing. You've got to really sell the sadness. But here's the thing. She misses being a wife. Now, let me tell you this. I don't think that she actually misses being a wife. I think she just misses the benefits that come with being a wife, right? You get the stability. Oftentimes you get provided for, and so on. What these women actually are missing is essentially just the resources and the security that her ex-husband provided. Not once do I hear them talk about how they miss their ex-husband. They don't say that. They say that they miss being a wife, right? They miss what they had. Keyword had, okay? It's like the possessions that they had, the security that they had. They couldn't give a damn about the marriage itself, actually.
I loved being married, you know? Like, I love being a wife. I love having, like, that one person I love coming home to and, like, venting all my shit to. And now it's like, yeah, you date people and, like, sparks fly. And then it's just like, oh, I found better, you know?
Oh, you mean like you probably did to your husband? Oh, I found better. I found a better guy. Sorry, I'm out. I'm going to try and get you on the hook for some child support, perhaps some alimony. Maybe we can do some dividing of assets that I didn't earn, and so on. But I want you guys to really pay attention to the wording that's being used here, okay? Because she's breaking down, she's saying, people, they just line up other people and they just go with the best option. Oh, you mean kind of like what women do? I mean, this is what women have been doing since like very early on in men's years. Like, guys understand this. If you're an 18-year-old dude, you've got nothing going for you whatsoever. You're not very attractive. You don't have a lot of things to your name. Nobody gives a damn. You're going to be overlooked for the dude who's 23 and who has a cool car, for example. Dudes understand this game. As soon as men start to try dating, they get traded up instantly if they're not good enough. When it happens to women, however, guys, cue the sad music, cue the TikTok videos, cue the crying, because Chad won't have a relationship with her. And the cherry on top, again, is that she could actually have a relationship, but of course she thinks that she's too good for the average man. You know, she brings a lot to the table. Let's continue.
Like, yeah, you date people and like sparks fly, and then it's just like, oh, I found better, you know? I think some of you guys missed my story time because, I don't know, I posted the dumbest video of me at Home Depot. It didn't go viral. But
what the hell? What are these women doing, man? Like, they post these videos. I don't know if anyone followed my previous video. No, I didn't. I have no idea who this woman is whatsoever. Like, I just love how women post their videos and they're like, you know, guys, if you've been keeping up with me, as per my last video, I actually went to Home Depot. And it's just like, these girls just think that people are just glued to their lives, you know? Like, oh, I posted this video. What's that? You didn't see my video yesterday where I went to Home Depot? It's like, no. Oh, it didn't go viral? Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Like, what are these women actually doing, man? And also, I wanted to bring up, earlier on in the video, she said that she was, the thing she missed about being a wife, the first thing that she actually listed, was coming home and venting all of her frustrations about the day to her man. That's it, right? Coming home and venting all of her frustrations to the dude. It's like, okay, we just dump everything on the man, and that's what we miss. All right, weird.
It didn't go viral, but like, I was talking to my ex again, and there was a TikTok.
Oh my goodness.
There was I had a fan on here, a TikTok follower that messaged me, and she said, hey, I started talking to this guy, and I noticed on his Instagram, like those highlight reels.
Oh, get on with it.
You were in one of his highlight reels. Like, you guys made a TikTok together.
Right, so let me guess. Some woman started talking to her ex-husband, and now she's pissed and she's crying about it because now he's getting attention from women. That's so funny, guys. This is a tale as old as time as well, is you'll have a woman who will leave her husband because she thinks that she can do better. So she goes out to the dating market, for lack of a better word. She gets rejected by all of the chads that she's trying to date. And all of a sudden, she sees that her good-for-nothing ex-husband actually maybe is becoming a little bit more successful, or maybe he's getting attention from women. And all of a sudden, the women are hit with that fear of missing out, and they want to be a wife again all of a sudden. You know, what's this? The toy that I stopped playing with, all of a sudden somebody else wants to play with it and give it attention? Oh, I can't have that. It kind of reminds me, guys, of like literally a toddler. This has got to be what raising a toddler is like, I would assume. You know, you take away a toy and it starts crying, even though they weren't playing with the toy. I mean, this just sounds like children, man. But, yeah, of course, we're dealing with people's lives, though. We're dealing with ex-husbands. We're dealing with fiancés and things like this. We're dealing with long-term boyfriends where women will outright just ditch a dude, and then they'll be like, wait a minute, another woman's giving him attention? Oh, I can't have that, even though she's no longer with him. Completely insane, man. These women are completely insane. So let's see if this new woman that she's describing here was actually talking to her ex-husband.
Like those highlight reels. You were in one of his highlight reels. Like, you guys made a TikTok together, and I was like, oh yeah, that's my boyfriend, because we were like trying to work things out. It was long distance, whatever. And she's like, oh, well, we're
wait. So it's a boyfriend. Okay, so now no. This is some Chad that she's trying to quote unquote work things out with, right? And so what's happening now is she competing with some woman for Chad. That's maybe what this sounds like, actually. This would be even funnier, guys. The more I listen to this video and the more of what actually comes out, it's just so funny. It's like a comedy skit, but the women don't even realize that they're doing a comedy skit, you know?
Talking, he said he was single, and I'm like... I'm not even crying about that. I think I'm just more sad about the fact that, like, it's it's impossible. It's impossible to find someone that you will 100% trust. And part of it has to do with me too, because of my insecurities. But honestly, 99% of the time, it's because they're cheating, you know, because it's so accessible. Social media, talking to other women. Why do I still have my fucking seatbelt on?
My goodness, I can't handle this woman's like fake acting, guys. She's pretending to be sad, but this is just like fake as hell. This whole thing is so fake. All of these crocodile tears, and essentially what this video is trying to do is it's trying to manipulate you. But guys, you know, so this woman who is divorced after a 20-year marriage, she's gone back out there dating, and all of these guys, they're just awful, evil players. I mean, first of all, I have no sympathy whatsoever. Probably should have stayed in your 20-plus year marriage, so I don't really have any empathy there. Second of all, a lot of the women who say this crap, they don't actually have relationships with these men. You ever notice that? You know, maybe the dude is actually single and he wasn't having anything serious with this woman. She's sitting here saying, oh, we were trying to work things out. Do you ever think that maybe the dude just wasn't interested and there was no working it out because the dude didn't want to commit to her? She's like, oh yeah, we're trying to work it out. Translation, I was trying to negotiate for commitment. It's like these guys are not interested in having long-term relationships with you. I don't know what else to say, guys. These women jump on these dating applications, they choose the men who are highly attractive, and then they pull the shocked Pikachu face meme, okay, when they realize that these same men have zero interest in committing to them. Again, the absence of fathers, the absence of actually listening to men. If women listened to men who weren't trying to sleep with them, maybe some siblings or relatives or something like this, or, you know, Lord forbid, their own fathers, perhaps they would realize this sort of stuff a lot sooner. But hey, they never actually realize, and they just end up making videos like this. Men don't want to commit to me. 99% of them cheat. Like, holy hell.
100% trust. And part of it has to do with me too, because of my insecurities. But honestly, 99% of the time, it's because they're cheating, you know, because it's so accessible. Social media, talking to other women. Why do I still have my fucking seatbelt on?
Could you sigh any more dramatically?
I just had a vent. I fucking hate people who cry on here.
I mean, you're one of them. I don't even understand what this is. So just by the way, back here, she says a second ago, she says, listen, you know, social media, it just makes it so easy for people to have a whole bunch of options, and that's why I can't find a man. The funny thing that women don't understand, guys, is the majority of men do not have options on dating applications whatsoever. You know who has options on dating applications? A small percentage of men and like 99% of women. What women are actually complaining about, they're not complaining about the average guy ghosting them or the average guy, quote unquote, cheating on them. I hesitate to use the word cheating, guys, because I really don't think a lot of these men are cheating. I think a lot of these guys never even gave women commitment in the first place. But what they're really actually complaining about is a very small subset of men, and the rest of the men completely just do not exist. You know, and we end up with just videos of them crying in their car about how all men are a particular way. And if you try and explain it to them, they'll never actually listen because they don't want to lower their quote unquote standards because they bring so much to the table. You know, this woman probably thinks that she's deserving of a top tier kind of guy, at least in terms of attractiveness, because she brings a lot to the relationship because she makes $90,000 a year or just some arbitrary crap that men don't care about. You know, guys, she has a degree in such and such. And when the women realize that men don't care, which they never really truly understand anyway, it gets them into this situation. You know, I can lock down this guy. Doesn't he know I bring a lock to the table? Meanwhile, the guy asks for one singular sandwich and she just cannot make it. You know what I mean? Oh, but I make $100,000. Why don't I deserve this particular guy? What's that? No, I won't be nice to you. How dare you? Take me on a date. You know what I mean?
Accessible, social media, talking to other women. Why do I still have my fucking seatbelt on? Anyway, I need to do a story time. I just had a vent. I fucking hate people who cry on here. But I hope you guys are having a good day.
I'm having a great day. Okay, so then we turned the video off. The most hilarious part about this, man, is that throughout the entire thing, she puts on like this B-grade acting that has nothing to do with anything. You know, she's just fake crying the whole time. I'm really surprised there's actually no piano music over the top of this. Usually there's piano music. So let's sum it up here. Woman hits 40 years of age. She's probably divorced her husband of 20 plus years. And now she's complaining because all she's dealing with are players and bad boys and guys who cheat on her. Well, if it isn't the consequences of her own actions. Guys, we're going to be leaving today's episode there. Don't forget to leave your thoughts and your comments. Did you find this as hilarious as I did? Make sure you drop a comment, like on the video, subscribe if you're new, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace.
All right, sorry about that. I had to get coffee and go to the restroom real quick. Looks like we're about partway tamed. I'm going to play the next video. That's something else. No. All right, this one is the finance zone breaking. Pete says HEGSETH just dropped a major bombshell.
Welcome back to the channel. Dylan here. We have a major bombshell today from Pete HEGSETH that you do not want to miss. He just came out and revealed the truth about the elite Democrats and about everything going on in America. Okay, Pete HEGSETH, he is not holding back anymore after he exposed the truth about all those liberal congressmen in that hearing where he just did absolutely incredible. And, you know, they try to go after Pete HEGSETH, but guess what? Pete HEGSETH did not back down. They launched allegations against him. They tried to, you know, stop him from running, from joining up with Donald John Trump. But Trump chose Pete HEGSETH to save America, to run, to help Trump defeat the left. And Pete HEGSETH, you know, after they went after him, kind of similarly to how they went after Trump, Trump probably gave Pete HEGSETH some advice and said, hey, look, I've been through it, I got through it, and I know you can get through it too. Because remember, Pete HEGSETH, he has so much military background experience. He is a true warrior, right? Trump needs people like Pete HEGSETH on his team because Trump does not have that type of experience, so he needs to bring in people to help, you know, actually give him advice from that experience that he has in the military, right? So, before we bring on Pete HEGSETH, he actually just talked about Guantanamo Bay, Guantanamo, and actually what's going to be going on there, and, you know, and his role as defense secretary over the next 4 years. So before we jump into that, we're going to read the Bible and pray because God comes first. Amen. Comment amen down below if you believe that. Today's Bible reading is Proverbs 3:5-6. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him and he will make your paths straight. Amen. So comment amen down below. And my brothers and sisters, Donald J. Trump and Melania Trump have both launched their own meme coins. I have tutorial links down below on how to buy them. And when you use those links, you're going to get up to $100 in free meme crypto coins just for using my link. We also have Bitcoin tutorial down there, how to buy Dogecoin as well, and a crypto trading group. So check that out, just teaching you how to buy and get involved in crypto, which we're going to be seeing a lot of over the next 4 years. So let's jump in, guys. So this is the official swearing in that Pete Hegseth is God. He says, all praise and glory to God. Let's tune in.
And I have to say a few words of appreciation. First, of course, to the President of the United States for nominating a person who is respected and adored by the warfighters. This is the Secretary of Defense who will stand up for the men and women that we send overseas to fight our nation's wars. I think a lot of them feel that they haven't had somebody who's had their back. That will change because the President of the United States nominated this guy, and we are grateful to President Trump for doing so.
Way better than Lloyd Austin, right? Way better than those Biden liberals that he had before.
I also want to say thank you to my Senate colleagues. It turns out we couldn't spare one, and all of you did an incredible job. In particular, my dear friend Roger Wicker, thank you for shepherding Pete through the committee. Roger did a great job. And in addition, all of the members of the Senate Armed Services Committee, who I know gave Pete the vetting and the hearing that he deserved, and I'm glad that we all ultimately decided that the President's nominee for Secretary of Defense ought to be our actual Secretary of Defense, and we're here today. But to say one final thing, if you look at what has separated President Trump from so many of the people who came before him, it is the view that, number one, we should be sparing in how we deploy our most precious resource, which is the men and women who are willing to put on the uniform and put their life on the line for this country.
Yes.
We shouldn't send them everywhere. But two, when we do send them anywhere, we ought to empower them with the tools necessary to fight and win quickly and come home afterwards. And that is what sets this administration apart, and that's what Pete Hegseth represents.
Yes, let's go. Let's go, guys.
Now, finally, I, of course, have to thank the nominee himself. Pete, thank you for being willing to put yourself out there. I think you've shown yourself a man of deep character and of resolve over the last few months. Jennifer, thank you for standing by, our new Secretary of Defense, and your beautiful family, from your kids to the extended family. You guys did a hell of a job. We're proud of you, and we're glad to have you in Washington as we work to make America great again. So with that, let me administer the oath of office. Kids, come on up. All right, put your hand on the Bible, raise your right hand, and repeat after me. I, Pete Hegseth. I, Pete Hegseth. Do solemnly swear. Do solemnly swear. That I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States. That I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States. Against all enemies, foreign and domestic. Against all enemies, foreign and domestic. That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same. That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same. That I take this obligation freely. That I take this obligation freely. Without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion. Without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion. And that I will well and faithfully discharge. And that I will well and faithfully discharge.
Look how locked in Pete Hegseth is. His hand on the Bible. He has a USA patch, not a Ukraine patch. He is locked in and ready to go. He is not messing around, guys.
The duties of the office on which I am about to enter. The duties of the office of which I am about to enter. So help you God. So help me God. Congratulations, Mr. Secretary.
Let's go! Boom, shakalaka. Gear up, my friends. We are going on a wild ride. All praise and glory to God. All praise and glory to God. All praise and glory to God. God sent his one and only Son, Jesus, to save us. Here we go. Let's tune in. Let's listen. Wow.
All praise and glory to God.
Comment that down below. All praise and glory to God.
His will be done, and we're grateful to be here.
Amen.
And as I said in my hearing, it was Jesus and Jenny. I would not be here without you, sweetheart. Thank you so much.
Wow, he is a God-fearing man. He is a Christian. I've been saying on my show, if you've been watching my show for over, I don't know, 3-4 months, I've been saying that I felt like God is raising up Christian leaders. I've been noticing all these Christian leaders who are being raised up. I just had a feeling. You know, take a look at Caroline Levitt. She showed up with a huge cross on. It was so symbolic of the change in tonality in our nation when she showed up to her very first White House press briefing with the biggest cross we've ever seen. Donald Trump, Christian. Melania Trump, she's Catholic, right? Mike Johnson, he's the Speaker of the House, the leader in Congress. Very, very Christian, right? Jim Jordan, Christian. Pete Hegseth, Christian. There's so many. J.D. Vance, our own vice president. Very, very Christian. I mean, this is a huge shift in America, guys.
I want to thank the President of the United States, our Commander-in-Chief, Donald Trump. We could not have a better Commander-in-Chief than him.
Wow.
It is the honor of a lifetime, sir, to serve under you. We look forward to having the backs of our troops and having your back in executing peace through strength, in putting America first, and in rebuilding our military. Mr. Vice President, thank you for breaking the tie. It's not the last time, or not the first time the headline reads, Junior Enlisted Marine bails out Junior Army Officer. And, you know, some people were saying, well, 50-50, that's too tight. And Senator Mark Wayne Mullen was nice enough to take my kids up to the gallery to watch the actual moment that the Vice President sealed the deal. And they came running in, they said, Dad, instead of being sad about 50-50, 51-50, they said, Dad, you won in overtime. That's the perspective I like. So thank you throughout this process, Mr. Vice President. For being
overtime, I love that.
I also want to thank the chairman of the Senate Armed Services Committee. So many members of the Senate Armed Services Committee, we became fast friends in this process. The advice, the consent, the wisdom, the guidance. I look forward to working with all of you and other senators to ensure the Defense Department has what it needs, our nation has what it needs, and that we're prepared to defend it in all moments. To my staff, amazing staff who were with us this entire process, I see so many of you through thick and thin. We used to look at the betting odds every once in a while on this. It was low at one point. Never do that.
Wow, Pete Hegseth is a gosh darn patriot, my friends. Gosh darn patriot. Now, he just absolutely came out and dropped a huge bombshell saying, worst of the worst will go to Guantanamo Bay. He is already getting started, my friends, and he is not holding back. Let's tune in.
All right, we're back with a Fox News alert. Investigators working around the clock to find the cause of the deadly mid-air crash in D.C.
Meanwhile, President Trump is ordering a review of DEI in aviation, warning it may have played a role in the tragedy.
Really?
Badly everything's run since he's run the Department of Transportation. He's a disaster. He was a disaster as a mayor. He ran his city into the ground, and he's a disaster now. The Department of Transportation is government agency charged with regulating civil aviation. Well, he runs it, 45,000 people, and he's run it right into the ground with his diversity.
So it was kind of extraordinary. We watched the president come out along with the Secretary of Defense, Secretary of Transportation multiple times yesterday and speak up often because of this tragedy that took place a couple of days ago. Here to react, the Secretary of Defense for the first time as his new position, Pete Hegseth. Pete, I wish it was under different circumstances. What have you found out over the last 24 hours you could tell our audience, except for the last thing we knew is that we...
Do you guys think DEI may have played a role? I mean, look, Donald Trump, he didn't say it did. He just said it may have, right?
Had two pretty experienced Black Hawk pilots, right?
That's right, 3. And good morning to you all. It is a tough way to start, and we've tried to be lean forward and be as transparent as possible while also respecting, of course, the families of those affected, the 64 on top of that in that civilian airline, and then the 3 soldiers who have been notified, the next of kin have been notified, and we're being careful about that as well. Yeah, you got 3 Black Hawk pilots on effectively an annual night qualification run. So there's a corridor there that is utilized near Reagan National Airport that the military uses for exercises that are routine. But as you know, guys, nothing is routine in the military, whether it involves a training exercise or real world. In this particular case, they were qualifying on a night flight, which included night vision goggles. Now, we don't know is whether the goggles were engaged or up. And anyone that's been in the military knows you might use them, you might flip them up while flying. But if the qualification was a night flight, they could have been used. You have a lot of ambient light, a lot of things happening around Reagan. There can be depth perception problems. Again, that's speculation. Our investigation will tell us more. We also don't yet have the black box from the Black Hawk. When we do, we'll get a sense of internal communications. That might tell us exactly who was piloting that Black Hawk. You had a captain in training. You had a chief warrant officer, too, as an instructor. And then you also had a staff sergeant in that Black Hawk as well. Who was talking? Who was on the comms? Who was piloting? And then what, if any, confusion was there at the end, right? We're looking at altitude. And the president was clear about that. Someone was at the wrong altitude. The investigation will help us understand that. Was the Black Hawk too high? Was it on course? Right now, we don't quite know. But what I want to tell your viewers and the nation is we will get to the bottom of what happened here. It's completely unacceptable in our nation's capital or anywhere. The military trains, and it trains robustly. And we're not going to stop training, even though there's a pause on this unit, on this exercise, which is an important one, and we should have that pause until we get to the bottom of this. We have to train safely. Something like this can never happen and is completely unacceptable.
I cannot tell you how thrilled I am to see Pete Hegseth standing in front of the Pentagon right now. I have more trust in Pete Hegseth than I have, or in our military now, than I have ever had in those Lloyd Austin, those Pentagon leaders in the past that, they had Jill Biden up there in the Oval Office giving advice and Lloyd Austin sitting there, thank you, Jill. It's like, what the hell's going on? I feel like America is back and we finally have the real men in town to actually, take care of our people. I trust him when he says, look, I'm going to get to the bottom of this. Trump came out and talked about the drones on day 2. He's like, we're done with all the BS, okay? Let's be transparent now. Let's actually find solutions quickly. Now, Pete Hegseth actually just came out and said we've seen an invasion of criminal gangs that is completely unacceptable. Let's tune in, my friends.
To the leader of the other department involved in this, the new defense secretary. It says in the prompter, my friend, I think I can say my friend, Pete Hegseth joins us for his very first interview since being confirmed.
Kind of cool backstory. Pete Hegseth used to work with this gentleman here on Fox News. Like, they had a show every day where they sat down. So it's kind of cool that now he's interviewing Pete. Just a little backstory.
Secretary, great to see you here today.
Great to see you, too. The host of The Will Cain Show. Up and out, man. Congratulations on a fantastic show. Love watching it. Great to see you. Nothing but blue sky ahead.
My plan was to score this very first interview with the Secretary of Defense, promote it, and build up to an hour-long sit-down. Instead, it was a phone call in the middle of a commercial break because you want to talk to us and everyone watching America about this new order from President Trump to house some 38,000 criminal illegal immigrants at Guantanamo Bay.
Whoa!
Yeah, to piggyback on what Secretary Noem said, first of all, DOD and DHS are in complete partnership behind President Trump's mission to secure the southern border. Everyone watching your show understands that responsibility was completely abdicated for 4 years under the Biden administration. We've seen an invasion of criminal gangs, of human trafficking, of drug trafficking that's completely unacceptable. And so you saw on day one for President Trump, executive orders reestablishing the military specifically, commitment to protecting the territorial sovereignty of the southern border, which is a shift. The military has been in support of DHS, and rightfully, and in many ways rightfully so, for a long time. We've allowed an invasion that needs to stop. The president declares an emergency. We're committed to that.
So we've sent troops, both National Guard and Reserve, but also active duty to the southern border, Marines to the southern border, both to assist in CBP and DHS in interdictions, but also to help fortify the border wall that President Biden allowed to become more dilapidated with gaps, and others were filling those gaps. Ultimately, we're also providing, for the first time ever, gray tails, as we call them, military aircraft to support mass deportation. And CBP finds criminal aspects in others who are illegally. DOD is there to support exporting those folks to other countries. Now, in some cases, that's taken some time. And President Trump has been very clear with those countries that if you aren't willing to take your criminals back, your illegals back, then we will hold you accountable. And things have shifted quickly.
Yeah, we saw when Trump shared that image. You remember this, guys? Trump shared this photo of him dressed up as an Italian mob gangster with the words FAFO behind it. This was after Colombia refused to allow 2 U.S. military planes to land in Colombia. These planes were transporting deported illegal migrants from the United States, and Colombia refused to allow those planes to land. This was part of President Trump's strict immigration policies, according to the U.S. Defense Department and Department of Homeland Security. The flights were intended to return around 80 Colombian nationals, illegals who snuck in. And what happened was Trump reacted, publicly condemned the move as a violation of international law, a threat to U.S. national security, and what he did was he immediately raised tariffs. Emergency 25% tariffs on all goods coming into the United States. In 1 week, the 25% tariffs will be raised to 50%, Trump stated. He also announced visa bans for Colombian government officials, enhanced custom inspections of Colombian nationals and cargo, and financial sanctions through the International Emergency Economic Powers Act. And guess what happened? The Colombian government immediately changed its mind and allowed those illegals to go back. And then Trump shared this. He goes, FAFA, which means fuck around, find out. I'm sorry, but I have to say that bad word because that's what Trump means. He's sending a message to the other countries. This is not Joe Biden. You can't walk all over the United States anymore. This is not Kamala Harris. Oh, laughing and cackling away. Oh, you want... Oh, Colombia, we can't send Colombians back. Oh, whatever. Haha. No, this is Trump, baby. Trump and J.D. Vance and Pete Hegseth. These are the 3 men leading, and Tom Homan too, especially Tom Homan. These 4 guys, they're leading this mass deportation, cleaning up the country. Pete Hegseth is playing a huge role. RFK Jr. is also playing a huge role. RFK Jr. says that most of his wealth is in Bitcoin and he's committed to the currency of freedom. Donald J. Trump has also declared that to the United States, the crypto capital of the planet, has launched his own cryptocurrency coin called the Trump coin, and Melania has also launched her own coin as well. She launched her own cryptocurrency coin. This is Trump's coin. This is the Melania coin. You can check out the links below right now. We have a special where if you use the link, you're going to get up to $100 in free meme coins. And when you use the link, it walks you through step by step how to buy the Trump coin, how to buy the Melania coin, how to buy Bitcoin, how to buy the Doge coin. So check out all those links below if you want to learn how to buy them. Let's get back to Pete Hegseth here.
In other cases, we want somewhere else to hold them safely in the interim, criminal illegals. Guantanamo Bay, is a perfect place.
Wow.
I served there from 2004 to 2005. Americans think of Gitmo as the images you see on your screen, right? The detention facilities with folks from the Taliban and Al-Qaeda. Those are the people I guarded in Camp 5, in Camp 6, in Camp X-Ray. That's one part of Guantanamo Bay. The other part of Guantanamo Bay, is a naval station, where it has long been, for decades, a mission of that naval station to provide for migrants and refugees and resettlement. So there are places, this is not the camps. You're not putting criminals in camps where ISIS and other criminals.
This is a temporary transit.
So they're sending 30,000 illegals to Guantanamo Bay. This is crazy, guys.
Which is already the mission of Naval Station Guantanamo Bay, where we can plus up thousands and tens of thousands if necessary to humanely move illegals out of our country where they do not belong back to the countries where they came from in proper process.
Whoa! Pete Hegseth going hard, guys. This guy's already going scorched earth and cleaning up our country. What do you guys think about this? I think this is a great first step and a great use of Gitmo too. Let me know your thoughts on this one down below, guys. I'd love to hear from you. And also check out those links and get up to $100 worth of free crypto. We have that special going on right now. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll talk to you soon.
Wow. Yeah. Dude, that's crazy, dude. The whole thing is crazy. Oh wow, this one's actually better than the one I have here. Actually got a better one. A little bit more expensive, but oh no, it's not that more expensive. It's cheaper. Wow. This has 149. Oh, the durability is probably low. Ah, that's why it's cheaper. The durability is low of it. Oh, but I don't need high durability. I do need high damage. Anyway, that's still pretty good. See, if the durability is high, it costs more to make it. See? Boom, it gives me more armor. So I got a couple of upgrades. That's not bad. Anyway, all right, so it's been an hour, 18 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and stop the video. I'm going to just stay logged in just to burn some meat and kind of replenish my stores a little bit. And what level is this? This is 247. Oh, that's very low. So you get equipment you don't need, you just grind it up. Alright guys, thanks for listening. I'll put all the links in the description. I hope you really enjoyed yourselves. And like I said, I'm going to cook this meat here and got plenty to cook. So thanks for watching and take care.